Hello, family. Welcome back.
Oh.
That was fine.
Welcome back. We're in sync.
This is episode 2, and welcome back. You know, I love the support that y'all showed on episode 1. We're on this journey together, and we're here to spread a message to you today. So what I want to talk to you guys about today is something that I struggled with for a while. Something we all struggle with. I think we all struggle with it. I can't speak for everyone. I struggle with this myself. It's relying on people of this world or friends or a friend group for a sense of purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And what do you mean, like, a deeper meaning, so, like, people would, like...
Yeah, a deeper meaning, it's like you feel like your sense of belonging comes from hanging out with friends or feeling accepted in social circles or having others around you kind of their approval.
Yeah, and like make that a form of yourself.
Yeah, it forms an ego. It forms like a clique.
Exactly.
And we don't want that will turn you into someone that you don't want to be. Someone
that you honestly don't even know. Let's put that out there. It's a version of yourself that's really not your true self.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And who your true self actually is who God created you to be. What I want to talk about more in detail is you can't rely on these people out here. You might think you're besties or whatever. You might think like that's your homie, that's your guy, that's your family, that's your brother, that's your blood. You might
even blood, right?
Even blood, even family. You're gonna think these people have my back, and they might very well have your back as much as they can.
Right.
But with that being said, they can't have your back like you need your back had.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I think, like, elaborate on that for, like, people who may not.
Now, if you don't quite understand what I'm saying, we all need our back had. We all need someone there to hold us steady.
Like a support.
But that comes from God. That comes from God. That doesn't come from the people of this world.
And a lot of people, they don't have that fulfillment for, like, God.
Mm-hmm.
They don't, or they put him, like, second, third, fourth. They don't put him first. They put, like you said, their best friend, one of their blood family members, boyfriend or girlfriend, any of that. And you have to put God first. And really, honestly, yourself second. Not even, that comes third, fourth, fifth is the other people that fulfill, who you truly are.
Because no matter what, you putting God first is stepping into reality, because no matter what, God is already first. If God isn't first in your mind, you're living in an illusion. You are... So everyone is serving something. Everyone has a God. It might not be the living, breathing, active, everlasting, infinite sustainer of life. God is life energy. God provides our life. When you feel alive, when you feel like you're moving forward, you have no sense of dread, you have no stress, no worry, because you're just so in tune with life, you're so in tune with God that these obstacles, they really cannot get to you.
No, they can't. And I think it's like, we've talked about this before, like when you literally feel God within your body, like you get that tingling feeling, like it's something that lives inside of you. It's not, it may not be in front of you, and that's kind of where the faith comes in.
And a question these people may have is, how exactly do I go from, oh, I know there's, man upstairs, to I feel God in my body? That might be a question that someone has.
Exactly.
And like the answer is quite simple. God doesn't make it hard to worship him. God
No.
doesn't make it hard to accept him.
No.
The world is just so attractive to the eyes, to the mind, to the mouth, to the ears. You gotta guard all of these things.
Right.
Like God told Isaiah to guard his eyes. I believe it was Isaiah, like he couldn't even like look at women at all because the temptation was so strong for him. You have to guard. You have to stay on guard because Satan is not who we think or who the world kind of perceives him as.
Yeah. He's everywhere.
And the word of God actually says Satan disguises himself as an angel of light.
Yeah. A lot in our lives. And sometimes we don't see it until it's like too late, you know.
Until it's too late.
Yeah. I don't want to say like too late because, you know, it's never too late to find God, but like in certain situations, it feels like that when you literally feel Satan attacking you. You know what I mean?
And I can elaborate a little further on that too, because what you're getting at with too late is the fun times, the high,
Young
the
age.
moment, the young age. Like eventually all that, eventually you're not going to be the hot shot, you know? Eventually you're not going to be young and everyone going to be like interested in what you got going on anymore.
Right.
Like, think of a rock and roll band. They are just popping. They're at the top of their game. They're selling out stadiums when they're in their 20s, and they're just the hot shots. They're the hottest thing around. But all of a sudden they start to get older and they're no longer cool by the world's standards anymore. And they're thinking, oh shoot, see, this could be 10, 20, multiple years until you fully realize. Some may not even realize that they were in a deception all along. So if you get to the point where you realize, oh, like, those weren't my friends, or man, like, now I'm addicted to this pill that I just took for fun at first, and now I feel like I can't live without it. Now I can't go on without having withdrawals. Now I can't go. Now I don't even know who I am. Now I don't even know what I want in life. Now I don't even see it.
You lose yourself.
You lose yourself. And why? Because Satan disguises himself as an angel of light to where you think that you are going towards something good. But it is only good. Satan's been around since the beginning. So he has studied reality. He knows how the human brain is hardwired. Now God hardwired our brain like food. We eat food and it tastes good, and it makes our brain releases dopamine. Because God wants us to be like, okay, I want my children to know that when they eat, that is good. That is nutrition to their body. Now Satan can twist this and now we have candy bars. Now we have like where does that come from? How do you go from green earth, from like the Garden of Eden, to Snickers bars and like all this nonsense?
That's actually a very good topic because it's getting worse. You know, like there's so many different like things, and it's like like sometimes I just look at it and I'm like, how do people eat this? You know what I mean? And it's like, it's scary.
Why do you think people eat those things when they know it's bad for them? Trends? You think people follow
one reason.
trends?
Yeah. They see kind of like, well, I can't really say, our workplace. We had like a specific candy that was like TikTok famous, and we sold out in like the same day. And it's not because it's good. It's not because of anything. It's just because of the name and because it went famous, and that's it.
Because they thought they could potentially get famous off
like
making a video.
Yeah. And it's really sickening to see like how obsessive you can become with a material.
And where does that get you?
It gets you nowhere, literally. Like, I think the only thing that it would get is this like temporary satisfaction. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, feel good in the moment, that's it. And after, you feel bad.
And that's,
some people do.
And that's another instance.
Some people keep
See,
going.
that's a very miniature, minute version of the rock band
right.
analogy that I had.
Yeah.
It tastes good and it's rocking and rolling, and then after it's over, your stomach hurts. Your stomach hurts.
Your ears are ringing. You know, like there's just so many.
Yeah. You know you did something wrong, but it's like,
yeah,
it tasted good. And then guess what you have to do to get that same feeling or that same taste?
Do it again.
You
what is that? That's addiction.
You got to go back to it again. That's addiction. Yeah, we're laying out addiction.
Yeah.
For you. And man, like, temporary satisfaction is never going to get you anywhere. And that brings me to another topic that we can go into, which is fasting.
Very important.
It's essential. Jesus says when you fast. He doesn't say if you fast.
Right. And explain more of that, because it's crazy that you said something to me one day about fasting, and I know what it is, but like I didn't know it had anything to do with God. And then I started seeing videos on TikTok about fasting after you told me about that, and I'm like, so elaborate.
Okay. Fasting, just like we're saying, a lot of these things of the world, they'll feel good to our minds. And is that necessarily a wrong thing? No, because God has designed our minds. You know, it's going to feel good when we have a social interaction with someone. But then when we become addicted to going and like going to parties, this is where people go to parties to get addicted to that social behavior. Or like eating, they get addicted to Snickers bars, or eating sour gummy worms, or pop. And how does fasting get you closer to God? And we're making a reel on our Instagram about this today. The desires of your flesh. These are the desires of your flesh. The desires of the flesh contradict, and this is in the word, contradict the desires of the spirit. And we'll be a lot better about having verses, presenting them on the screen, having them in the description. We're really just now starting out, but I've been in the word enough to know this is in the word. The desires of the flesh contradict the desires of the spirit. And fasting this leads into selflessness, which is another topic that we wanted to get into. When you're just after food, or you're after feeling good, or that good taste, or that Snickers bar, or that pot, or that pill, or sex, or whatever it may be, what you're doing is you're becoming more selfish of the heart, because you're only caring about how you feel, what you're eating, what you taste, what's going to make me feel good, what's going to make, this is a false perception of happy. Like, this is a temporary happy. This is an emotional happy. This isn't like a fulfillment happy. So what fasting does is you're laying down these desires, and you're basically like carrying your cross. You're basically putting yourself on the cross, like crucifying your flesh. It's like, well, my mind wants candy or wants to eat right now, but I'm going to deny that fleshly desire so I can be strengthened of spirit, and I cannot be controlled by my mind. Because the more that you go off of that feel-good feeling, whenever your mind tells you to go do something, you're more than likely going to go do it if you don't have the spiritual discipline and self-control. So what fasting does is it kind of submits yourself to God. What you do is you submit yourself to God. And that's why Jesus says when you fast. So lay down things. It can be social media. It don't necessarily have to be food.
Yeah.
And
very specific what we're saying, but like it could be literally anything.
It can be anything
that you feel like you're addicted to. You know what I mean? And like you were talking about in the selfless area, I think like being selfless is like, genuine, kind, and a lot of people, when you have that characteristic, you don't expect anything in return. You know what I mean? And that's what selfless is. It's not, oh, I'm going to do this and they're going to pay me back, or oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to get something out of it. But in reality, they don't want anything in return. But the good thing is about that is God does give you something. You know, he gives you blessings when you are selfless. You know, and I'm not saying, you know, let people walk over you. No. You know, there's boundaries to that. But you do get blessed at the end for being, you know, a genuine person. You know, it reminds me, like, a good example is, like, you're in a drive-thru and the person ahead of you pays for it.
Mm-hmm.
You're expected, you know, to keep that trail going. You know, oh, I'm going to pay for the person behind me. And then it keeps going, it keeps going. And then everybody feels so good about that, like, oh my goodness, they're so nice, they're so nice. That is a good example of how good it feels to be selfless.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a chain, and we don't even realize how easy it could be.
And it matters. Being selfless, it matters. You can make someone's day. You don't know when the next person is on the verge of doing something evil or is on the verge of harming themselves.
Exactly. It's as simple as holding the door for someone, or hey, do you need help with your bags? Something, and they will go home and they will remember that for the rest of the day, rest of the week, rest of the year. You don't know how much one small thing can impact someone's whole life, and we've talked about how a lot of small things matter, you know, and people don't realize it really makes a big impact. It may be small, but it has a big impact.
It builds character. You shine. You really shine.
And you spread that too. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like, it literally transforms, like, to another whole feeling, and
Mm-hmm.
it transfers to another brain.
You grow. You
It's
really
powerful.
grow. It's like going into another dimension.
Literally.
It's changing your aspect on life instead of being like miserable and like
Yeah.
in a victim
Yeah.
mindset. It's like
Guilt,
I'm gonna
shame,
go
all that.
live. I'm gonna go make someone's day. And something I like to say a lot is be that someone for someone. Be that someone for someone. You know what I mean?
I like that. Yeah. And guess what? It's all free.
It's all
You know
free.
what I mean?
And you don't have to do it. You don't.
Right.
If you feel pressured to do it, like.
Small steps. Just like small things, small steps matter too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Certain things will come natural. You just have to start somewhere to make it that impact. You know what I mean? And I think that's a big picture of what we've been talking about. It kind of helps with mental health, and that's what May is, Mental Health Awareness Month. And that's a really good example.
Mental Health Awareness Month. I really strongly encourage y'all, if you're in a mental health struggle yourself, start writing. I came across some of my writings from 2022, a couple years ago, and it's just really beneficial. And something I saw in there was me writing, communicating to God, and something I said that stuck out to me. One of them, I'm not going to spoil it. It's going to be on our Instagram. You probably already have seen it by this point. But the other one was, it's not about my struggles. I could nitpick and probably stumble myself into like complete like everything sucks because I pick out this one small inconvenience and blow it out of proportion to where that's my whole reality and I'm a victim about it.
It's like making a mountain out of manna
When there's a whole universe out there. It's not about me. It's not about my struggle. It's not about my depression. Like that don't exist. It don't matter. Go make someone's day. Move on.
Yeah. Which sadness is a state, you know, of what we all experience. But I don't think that it should be labeled and it should be who you are. You know what I mean? Like depression should not be, oh, what is a characteristic you have? And that would be one of them that you think that you are. You know, not saying that you shouldn't embrace some of the flaws that you have, but it just shouldn't be who you are. You know what I mean?
And you might feel so alone and feel like you have no one. But trust me, there's a community out there for you.
There's someone right now in your future waiting to love you, excited to meet you, no matter what form that is.
Mm-hmm.
It's very true.
And the world is so big. Like,
Don't
Don't
settle.
make it all. Yeah, don't settle. Don't settle. There's plenty that you could do.
Yeah.
Y'all should start your own podcast. Y'all should start your own YouTube channel.
Guess
Y'all
what?
should start your own.
You gotta follow.
Literally. Start your own piano. Start playing piano. Like, pick up things you want to do. Life is so short.
It is.
Life is so short. You might be like, how are y'all so young doing this? Because I realize how short life is, and I realize that I want to have an impact on others. I think no one but God. It's not me.
Every day counts. You know, every day is a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, we're young, but we have this gift, and we're gonna use it. Just like any of you should. Just like what he said, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be a podcast. It doesn't have to be mental health. It doesn't have to be, you know, it's whatever you think that you can't do that. Because you can.
And the thing is, it's like, do things that only you can do.
Exactly.
Like, no one can sit here and people, like, anyone can make a podcast, but the thing is, we're saying these things and no one has our personalities. Like, we're doing things that only we can do. Like, we're showing.
And Jordan.
Exactly.
That's very true.
Or, like, no one can swing a golf club like you. No one can cook exactly like you. Like,
exactly. It reminds me of, like, how I've learned, like, in the wintertime when it snows, that all of the snowflakes are different.
mm-hmm.
Isn't that weird?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like us. Because you're like, how? How can all of the snowflakes be different?
It shows
It's just like us. I thought that was really cool.
Jesus chose us. Jesus has a place for us. If you read John chapter 14, it's just so touching because Jesus chose us. He reached down to us and chose us.
And we're here on this earth, temporary, to spread his word.
Exactly. Life is eternal. Life is eternal if you believe in Him.
Right.
You shall not perish. It's as simple as that. Don't put all your chips in this material life.
Yeah.
Don't chase materials.
And
Chase God.
you'll lose
He
yourself.
ain't far. God ain't far either.
Never.
God's in the details. They say the devil's in the details.
Right.
God is in the details.
In all honesty, I feel like God is way easier to find any materialistic thing in this world.
Mm-hmm. It's way easier to find God than.
It's so simple. Like, literally, you don't even have to close your eyes if you don't want to. And just, that's how easy it is. There's no money involved. There's no driving a car to get to it. There's no, oh my goodness, let me go, I need help, like, lifting. There's none of that. It's literally.
So, figured out the audio was. Listen, we're learning, we're growing just like y'all are. Okay?
Perfectly said.
We had a lot of good content, and if you watch through, you're going to understand why we didn't just completely trash that and redo it. Because a lot of that, all of it, we have no script.
Nope.
We're just trusting in God.
100% us.
And it's no fake. Like, we're not scripting this. We're not Googling it.
No.
You can't Google the answers for life.
Exactly.
That's for another episode, though.
So many ideas. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can see any time that we post. You know our business email will be in the description, our Instagram, our Facebook, eventually TikTok, we're going to get that going. So if
Twitter?
you do have any platform, if you do have any questions, concerns, video topic ideas, you want to be in a video, that would be amazing. We're going to get our Zoom connected so we can start that. Anyone could join. You know our email. You know how to get a hold of us, and we will see you soon.
Wait, if you're local, you know you're local, and we can just have you in the back seat, or we can just do it
Meet you
the
somewhere.
OG way, you know? We can meet you somewhere. We can meet you where you are. We will meet you where you are. With your questions, comments, concerns, stay tuned for some Bible study. Stay tuned for some reels. And stay tuned for the next one.
We love you.
guys.